Hello, everybody, and welcome to Becoming Invincible podcast. I am your host, Talia, and I am so excited to have you here. This podcast is to reframe your mindset, challenge those limiting beliefs that you may have when you're navigating all the situations in your life. And I'm here to give you tools to help you navigate them in such a healthy way and to harness your personal power that we tend to lose along the way. So settle up, get ready, grab a coffee, and get ready for some juice in each episode as I throw you what life has thrown me and we can navigate this shit together. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Okay, so I've been working out today, but I wanted to do an episode on we all don't have the same amount of time in a day as other people, because I think that's a really good one. A lot of people feel like, but we all have the same amount of hours in a day. It really depends what you do with it. We actually don't. Okay. So I'm really speaking for people who are parents out there. We all just have a different life. And I think the more that we normalize that we all live a different life, it's not the same, it's all very different, I think the better. Okay. I see it all the time online where people are like, oh my God, this whole thing with, I just don't have enough time. Now, sometimes people use that as an excuse, and I fully agree with that. I don't have enough time to do that. Really, you actually do have enough time. Okay, some people do need that kick up the butt. Some people are lazy, so people do need to have that. I fully agree with that. But not everyone does, because there's some people out there that really do try and they're very active all the time. Yep, doing this, doing that. They don't have the same amount of time and hours like they did. If that makes sense. So it's a lot of people who aren't parents, I do find, where they're like, oh, we all have the same amount of hours a day. This is what you do. So people who are parents, okay, and I don't mean to discriminate people here or anything like that, but it's a very real thing. I see it all the time. Someone who has one child has a different amount of time as someone who has four, okay? Because it's very different. They're only having to drop one child at school or out of curriculars. The other person who has four kids has to drop them all at school. They all have different curriculars because not every child is going to do the same sport. There's so many different things going. You have less time, okay, because you have more children. Now, it's not to shame like, oh, they have it harder than you. It's nothing like that. It's just about getting familiar and comfortable in your own life and what you can achieve and what you can't achieve. And I'm sick of this I'm just really sick of these things where people are like, oh, we all have the same amount of hours in a day. It's whether you want to get off your ass. Yes, to some people, 100%. Other people, no. So people who aren't parents have a lot more time than people who are. It's a real thing, because everyone thinks, oh yeah, like, oh, a stay-at-home mom, that's not even a job. You like watch DVDs all day. Oh, fucking wish that was the truth. You have meltdowns going on. You know, what once was effortless to go to the shop to go get bread is not as easy anymore. The child's going to have a meltdown. If they can't have something that they're wanting, they're going to have a tantrum. Then they're going to want something else. And then you're going to get really frustrated because people look at you and then they have to say what they want to say because people are just like that to put everyone down. So they're going to be like, oh, they're very loud. Oh my God, shush, kid, and it's very heart-wrenching for a mom, because it's like, don't you think I want my kid to shush? I don't want you guys all staring at me, judging me how bad of a parent I am, because you're just seeing 5 minutes of my life with a meltdown of a kid, and it probably seems like I'm a bitch. Like, I don't need your comment, like we're always going through things in our life. There's always things going on and things like that. And so I really wanted to do this episode of, we all need to work out how much time we have in a day with the life that we're living. Whether you have 4 kids, whether you have 1, whether you have 3, whether you have 2, doesn't fucking matter. Even if you have 6, there is also what I want to say on the lines of this is the myth that we get sold in the society is that when your kids get older, it will get easier. When actually, I heard this quote and I absolutely love it. And I actually keep this in mind all the time. So this lady actually said, that is the biggest myth. But what is actually true for me with my kids, because she's got 3, I think, it's actually bigger kids, bigger problems. she's like, "We think like, oh, I'll just do it when my kids are all in school, like, I have more time." When really she's like, your actual more time you have is actually when your child's a baby and they're sleeping and they're napping on you. You can just get work done or whatever. Obviously, in hindsight, it's harder than you think because obviously mentally draining, we all have different babies, everything like that. Technically, you actually have more time. Like, even I feel like that sometimes where I'm just like, holy shit, like I actually had more time when the girls were babies than I do when they are now, because to go in and out of a shop is a lot more hard than it was to put them in a double pram. They'll both sit in there happily as Larry with their toys, and I would just quickly go around and quickly grab what I needed. Whereas now, they always want something, then someone's going to piss off the other. They're always having a moment. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, some days I do have a great time at the shop because we do go in and come out, but they're always wanting something, or you can't really understand if they're going to kick off in a tantrum, right? Like, you just don't get to know that. It's not something that kids allow us to know. So then half the time you spent trying to diffuse a tantrum that you're like, oh my God, okay, like I didn't really need to have this. I just literally need to get milk and bread. And this is so hard. But someone who isn't a parent doesn't actually understand that. So you can just walk into a shop and get whatever you need and walk out within 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Whereas we kind of sort of can't because we've got like a lot going on. Our child has other plans for us. Like, there's like a whole, it's a big thing. Like, until you're a parent, you really just don't get it. And you can love your child so much, but then sometimes they really tick you off on other days, right? And that's really a real thing too that I feel like a lot of people don't want to normalize. I've even had people like, okay, Charlie, like I can't diffuse a tantrum as well as you. And I'm like, oh my God, is that what you really think? Like, yeah, I'm so into, and this is obviously a detriment with being online. Like, I try and be so authentic to be like, I am so not above anyone. I just really want to help you with getting a positive mind. So, no, some days I can't diffuse a tantrum that great either. But sometimes I'm just like, come on, I'm dragging my kids out the store. Or sometimes I'm just like, I'll just fucking leave you here in a minute. I just want to get my things. We got to really understand there's humanness to our life. If I could diffuse a tantrum as well as I do all the fucking time, every hour on the day, I would be a robot. It's very inhuman to have it all together every fucking minute of the day. Yes, do I have it together majority of the time? Yeah, I actually really pride myself in that. But not everyone's going to have the same level of tolerance like I do. And then I do have moments where shit gets on me when life is so stressed and I'm like, I have no idea like how this is all going to work. Am I going to be able to do all this? We've just got to acknowledge the humanness that comes with life. We're not always going to have our shit together every fucking moment. That's okay. That's the beauty of life. And so I see a lot of the time it's like we all got a thousand things to do in a day. You just need to schedule things. And 100%, it's always about prioritizing your life. So it comes down to prioritization. What is actually important to you, right? It's like, I don't have enough time. I can't work out today. But did you prioritize that? Like, would you rather go get a workout done today and do your washing tomorrow? Like, what is actually comfortable for you? Because we get told in society that we should be able to work out, work, do the washing, have dinner ready. The house has to be spotless. You got to be fucking absolute ready to have sex with your husband every fucking second of the day. And that is just not relatable. Like, it is not idealistic. It's not even going to be able to happen without help. So literally, we've got to start to prioritize things. So it's like, okay, well, I can actually do a load of washing tomorrow. So I'll actually make my wash day tomorrow. I'll do a workout today. I've got to do this, and then I can go do school pickup, right? Or okay, I'm going to work today. Okay, go do school pickup. I'll do this, and then I'll try and like I'll make sure I do a workout tonight, and then wake up, it'll be washing instead of working out, right? Like, sometimes you've really just got to look at what you are doing that day and how it's going to work to then prioritize what you want to do, instead of being like, fuck, I never have time for a workout. I never have time to eat healthy. I never have time to do a mindset thing. Never have time to read, never have time to watch a show, all these sort of things, right? It's not that you never have time. It's because you're prioritizing the wrong things. And sometimes we even get caught into a scroll hole on our phone. Sometimes we literally get stuck in like, oh my gosh, we're scroll holing like Instagram, or we're like scroll holing TikTok even. like we're all doing all the things. So this is what I mean, where you need to like work out where you need to prioritize. That will literally help you. So it's not the fact that, oh, we have the same amount of hours in a day. It's really not. And I think that is the biggest crock of shit everyone wants to talk about. Someone who is a parent compared to someone who's not, very big difference. You have a lot more hours in your day compared to someone that has kids, right? It's about prioritizing. And so I don't want to always be like, okay, well, you can't do things or your life is over because you have kids. It's not that at all. That's another lie we get sold as well. Your life is never over because you have children. It just becomes very different. Like you prioritize different shit. And because I really hate when people go, oh my God, your life is going to be over. You're going to have a child, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, your life isn't going to be over. It's just the fact that you prioritize different stuff. Like your life is just going to be a different busy. I'm not saying that people who don't have kids aren't busy. You very much are. It's just, what are you going to prioritize? But I just don't like when people say, oh, like we all have enough hours in a day. Okay. Someone who has no kid to someone who has, like, no, very different. Sometimes my friends even say to me, like, fuck, I don't know how you get back to all of our messages. Like, what the heck? Sometimes I don't get back to them till like at nighttime because that's like when everything's settled. So I'm like, yep, okay. And then I'll reply to everyone, okay, sweet. But I prioritize that in my day, right? And it's about checklist sort of thing. If you do checklist and you tick off, like, okay, I've done this today, I've done this and everything like that, which is also very satisfying, right? Because if you do things like that, it keeps you like accountable, but it's also, you can't put too much pressure on yourself that if you don't do that list in the day, like in one day, that you're shit, because you're not, right? We all can't do our to-do list in one day. Sometimes it's going to be spread over a couple of days or 3 days or something. And you've got to be okay with it. You don't need to make it mean something. You don't need to go, okay, I'm shit because I didn't get every fucking thing done in the day. No, your day was still productive. You're just going to start again tomorrow. Because there's this big thing, it's like, unless my house looks like this, or unless if it's doing this, then I'm not worthy enough. When really, when people are doing that they're working 24/7 and their house is in condition, like no child is lived in it, that's not reality. It shows insecurity because they're having to, it's got to look perfect. It's got to look this, Sometimes when we see things on social media, it's just not sustainable. And trying not to shame yourself or have guilt over the fact that your house doesn't look like a fucking show home. With kids, it's not meant to. A house that's messy with kids with toys everywhere just shows the love and the happiness that's happening in the house. A house that's like absolutely like spotless and they have children, I don't think that they'd be happy, because no finger marks on there. Stop doing that. Blah, blah. Unless if they have help, obviously, from like a cleaner or something. Fucking kudos to them. You need help with shit like that, 100%. And I don't think that there's any wrong with seeking help in life as well. There's this thing, it's like you got to do it all at one person, when really if you hire a cleaner, they can help you. I think the days when I was partnered with the person I had kids with, we had a cleaner that would come to the house and it was so good. I could literally take my kids to the park. She would come in, clean, and I come back and the house is like so spotless and clean. That was one less thing I didn't have to worry about. I just had to worry about putting their toys into their playroom and that was it. It was really good to have that. And so I have experienced a cleaner at one point in my life, and it is good. Like, if you can afford to do that, why not? You're then helping that person feed their family, and also they're helping you by cleaning your home. And that's how we got to look at things like that as well. Instead of like, oh, it's too expensive. But you're feeding that person's family. And then they're doing the cleaning that you didn't need to do and exhaust yourself over, right? Like, it's a win-win. But we don't like to think of things like that either. So it depends how you look at it, guys. Like, but also that it's human nature to want to have help as well. I think we've got to normalize that sometimes we need to have help with stuff, but sometimes people are just like, oh, I don't want to ask for help, blah, blah. And it's like, well, sometimes you need to ask for help. You just go, I need to hire a cleaner for this, or could you be able to watch my kids for me while I go do this? We've got to normalize that, because it's impossible for one person to do absolute everything, and I think it's so toxic that you are praised. Oh my God, you can do it all. You're amazing. And then I feel like people get entitled to, "Oh, I'm just so amazing because my house is spotless and I work 24/7 and I make all the money." This hustle culture, I just don't think it's sustainable, to be honest. Big on that. stuff, because we look at social media and it's like, oh my God, how does she do it? Like, she has 3 kids and her house is spotless and this and this and this. Then how much do you know of their life? You know what I mean? And I've been there too. I'm like, oh my God, like mummy vloggers I watch and things like that. And I'm like, oh, I just don't know how she does it. Like, she just has 3 kids, she's got more than me, and she like keeps the house clean, and you know, she works in her business and she does this, and plus she edits, when really she has a husband. I don't have anyone here like to help. You know, like my mum goes off and lives her life. So that's the realistic, is that it's on me. And I really have my pride and joy in my podcast and, you know, trying to get content out there as much as I can, that I can't always do it all either. And that sometimes I'd rather go, okay, well, the house is going to be messy tonight. I need to get some editing done. Kids are tucked away in bed. Dishes are done. Okay, sweet. I'm just going to go and edit instead of clean the fucking house, be so tired that I won't even be able to edit. Like, you know what I mean? It's about prioritizing things. And I think hustle culture really fucked us up, to be honest, with like, you've got to do 101 things in a day. But if you don't amount to this, then you're shit. Some things I've seen online, it's like, if you're not a stay-at-home parent or you don't actually want to be, you're a shit parent. Then I've seen we all have enough hours in a day, right? And then I've seen if you don't work and have kids and keep your house tidy and have a hot bod, the lengths that you see online, it's like, what is actually sustainable? And we all want to strive to be happy, because happiness is something that we really want, but you can have happiness and still be not as rich, right? Like, happiness doesn't come from having money. Happiness comes from of a way of being. And it's the more that we look at things like that, that's the better we are going to be. But we get sold this story of, if you're not doing this, if you haven't done this, and it's not sustainable. It's not actually possible sometimes. It really depends on your life. Like for me, if I went to a 9 to 5, I would not get anything done. The house would never be clean, and I would probably close down my podcast because something would have to give. I wouldn't be able to give anything my all, and I probably wouldn't be as present with my kids, to be honest. So you can't fucking do it all. There's going to be some sort of a detriment. And anyone who ever says you can have balance, there's no such thing as balance, because something is always going to give. And so I just really want to do like this quick little episode as a reminder, because as long as you're happy with your life and you're doing the things that you need to do and that are fulfilling you, that is all that matters. You don't need to have validation, be like, I work 24/7, I fucking do this. No, because even if you did all that, you'd be still be so unhappy. You'd be so run down. You'd be sick as, like, it's not sustainable. I just think we really need to normalize that. And I wanted to just come in here and say that, because it's just not real and it's not reality, you know? So anyway, guys, I'll see you back on another episode, but I hope this helps someone. I just think there's just so much negative in life and it's just bullshit, to be honest. Here's a little bit of rawness that you're doing fucking incredible and you don't need to do 101 things to mean anything in the world or become relevant at all. Just by being you, you are enough. And if you have people in your life that don't agree, you need to kick them fucking out.